Well, good morning. So I thought I would just check in. I'm getting ready to go to the grocery store. I had a little scare the other day, and it actually was a kind of a big scare. I so at my work we have to go and do this yearly exam, and when we do that, we get a reduction on our health insurance. So they do like a blood screen, and they do blood pressure, stuff like that. So it's pretty basic, easy breezy. So I get there, it's an hour away because we have to go to a specific place. And they checked my blood pressure. Well, it was super high. And then they had this little disclaimer that if your blood pressure was over a certain amount, either top number or bottom number, they had to call the EMTs. Well, mine was that high. So they called the EMTs, and I had to decide whether I wanted to go to the hospital. And I chose not to because I thought, well, they had told me, the hospital's only going to um, treat it at the moment. And, so I went, okay, maybe I'll go to urgent care and I can get into a doctor or something. So I went to urgent care and my daughter took me. They said the exact same thing. We're going to request that you go to the ER. Blood pressure that high, you need to go to the ER. So we're like, okay, shit, got to go to the ER. So she was going to call the EMTs, but she said, since your daughter's there, I'll trust her to take you. And so we went, and so here's the scary part. I was a little scared of the high blood pressure, but it was weird. It was, the same feeling. Me and my daughter going to the ER, and it wasn't that long ago that me and my daughter were going to the ER, and I ended up getting the diagnosis of the leukemia. So I had a PTSD moment big time. I had to like literally just close my eyes and relax. So not only was my blood pressure really high, now I was like panicked because I'm figuring something's really wrong, right? I mean, like really wrong. And you put it together. If you only have been to the emergency one time and you end up being admitted when you go in for a 30-day stint, having one of the worst things you can have, especially, diagnosed, I was scared. So it really kind of frightened me. But it was more that it was weird. It was because then they did an EKG right away, and the EKG came back perfect. It was fine. My heart is fine. So it wasn't my heart that was causing this, which was huge. But then all I could think about, well, what else is wrong? Something else is wrong. Something else is going to get diagnosed. I mean, the whole time I'm sitting there, my blood pressure, partially because of this, went up to 235 over like 120. It was horrific and scary, but I really even wasn't, I was more scared. I think it just like culminated, right? It got worse and worse and worse and worse. That was the highest it was. It wasn't that high when I was at, before I got there, but, um, and basically, and everything ended up fine. I got on medication. It's already been lowered by quite a bit. They don't want to lower it too fast because then you like get dizzy and all of those things, but it's quite a bit lower. It's slightly elevated right now with the medication, but in the morning and the evenings, it's fine. So anyway, yeah, it was it was it was quite a little scare. Again, I really feel like it was more the idea of thinking of the past. It just reminded me of it. It was funny because I don't know if any of you remember when the one reason why I went to the doctor to begin with, that I even knew anything was wrong or even thought anything was wrong, was my legs hurt. And as me and my daughter got out of the car, we started walking into the ER, my legs started hurting so bad. And I think it was psychosomatic. Like I was just thinking that, and they started hurting. It was like all of these memories just shot back at me. And it was like a really scary moment. I'm fine. Don't worry. But, and it was, my own fault. I haven't been keeping track of my blood pressure. I always have, because I stopped taking my blood pressure medicine and my blood pressure was fine. And I was tracked it for quite a while. But then when I moved, I stopped tracking it. And a lot of stressful things happened, and my body just went haywire. I also believe too, it was probably a little higher than it normally would be because I hadn't eaten and I did have coffee, And so I think there was things that sparked it, but regardless, it was high. Um, and maybe it was good that it was that high because then it's like I have got to go see a doctor now, and maybe that's the reason. But there you have it. My adventure. That was on Thursday, so I was kind of stressed Thursday and Friday a little bit too. And I am to some degree still not as bad. I've gotten over it, but yeah, I think it was more what else are they going to find? Like what's going to happen? Am I going to have to stay? Like I can't believe it's it. I'm understanding things about memories and um much better. Like it was so black and white that oh my, this is totally me reliving the past. Totally. So which is interesting, I mean, yeah. So that's interesting. I have to look at my cards because now that I say that, I think I was getting the Six of Cups lately, and that would totally make sense. So anyway, I just wanted to give you an update. Everything's fine. Working through things, normal days. Everything's good. In a happy place. So take care.